Hi everyone. On any given night in the United States, more than 650,000 people don't have a home. This is the highest number ever recorded, and it continues to rise. Homelessness can affect all of us. It affects our neighborhoods, our safety, and in the future we want to build. And the truth is, homelessness can happen to anyone. One job loss can, one accident, one addiction, or one trauma can change someone's lives completely. I learned a lot about this topic through social media, especially on TikTok, where people share their real experiences. I also volunteer in shelters and research this issue. What I learned about homelessness is not just a simple problem, but is a problem we can solve if we take the right steps. Homelessness is not just a social issue, it is a human emergency. Hans latest has reported show that homelessness has increased by 12% in just 1 year. Behind that number are people, families trying to stay together, and children who need a safe place to sleep, veterans who serve their country, people escaping abuse, and many people who has disabilities, mental illness, or any addictions. Mental health and addiction often get worse when someone becomes homeless. The National Alliance and Mental Illness explains that living on the streets exposes people to constant stress, fear, and trauma. This makes it harder for them to recover or even get support. Homelessness can also affect our entire communities. City spends millions of dollars in emergency rooms or any police response and temporarily fixes it instead of long-term solutions. This wastes monies and keeps people stuck in the same cycle. So why hasn't homelessness has been solved yet? There are a few reasons. One major barrier is the lack of affordable housing. Rent keeps rising year after year, and wages does not rise higher and faster. Sorry, to match it. Many people work full time to stay affordable and in a place to live. This is especially hard for single parents, a low income worker, or a person with disabilities. Another barrier is untreatable illness and addiction. So many people want help, but treatment programs cost a lot of money, or the waiting lists are very long. People who are trying to get better off and can't access the care they need. The third barrier is stigma. Some people think homelessness is a personal failure, as if the person on the street is simply didn't try harder enough. This mindset leads to less funding for shelters, few, um, fewer programs, or any limited political support. Stigma makes it harder for people to receive compassionate and real help. But even with these challenges, there are solutions that work. One of the most effective approaches is called community based invention. Housing First programs are one of the strongest tools we have. The U.S. Interagency constantly on homelessness shows that when people are given a stable housing first, they are most likely um, successful staying sober, finding a job, and founding their lives. When someone has a safe place to sleep, everything else becomes easier for them. We also need a strong community support, mental health centers, or job training programs, addicting treatment, and expanding services for veterans. These programs help people in long term and give them an stability to and constant they need to move forward. There are also things we can do today. Organizations like the National Alliance and to End Homelessness and offer a way to help. You can sign the petition for more housing programs, donate a few things if you can't, or volunteer your time. Even one small action can help support someone who is struggling. Homelessness is not something can we have to accept. It is a problem we can prevent. Today, I explained that homelessness is a growing crisis that affects everyone, that major barriers keep people from getting help, and that expanding community based programs is the key for real, the lasting change. Brian Stevenson once said, the opposite of poverty is justice. Helping even one person avoid homelessness is a step um, towards justice, and it brings us closer to the closer kindness of the world we should all want to live. We should all want to live in. Thank you for listening.